Hi, and welcome for this talk or discussion where we're going to talk about preparing for your KHDA, talking about the importance of action plans for when you're working in Dubai. This is really going to be tailored towards our department heads because when KHDA is looking, they're looking at what the vision is for the department, really based upon their inspection report. So for this, you're going to need your KHDA most previous inspection report. I'm going to pull ours up here. And you see our rating of good, yes. But I want you to know that when it is time to look at the inspection report or making your action plan, you only need the current year. You do not have to look at the previous 3 years. They're looking to see if you're growing based upon their suggestions. Also, for this tutorial, I'm just going to focus on one department, which is the English department. But each department should have their own action plan focused and based upon what has been asked by KHDA and where they're trying to grow. So I'm still showing you, I'm coming down to where it's the main inspection report and it's broken down. Now, here's a heads up if you're the English department, even though you're going to focus here at what English has stated, you're going to have to read the entire report to see if it's not pieced or put in different places. So it's very simple. I'm going to pull out my team's template of what we use for our action plans. I am going to provide a link to what this looks like, and you do not have to have a certain template. Any template can be utilized. You just want something that can really help you focus and derive what you're trying to do. So these are our action plans, and I'm going to go through it, but at this time, this is the template here. So I'm going to open it up and do like a practice document. Now, when we look at the actual, where did I put the KHDA document? Just had it. Yay. Okay, I'm just going to open it again. But when we look at the actual KHDA document, we're going to read and see what's talking about and what does it mean and how do we focus on it. So here it is, the English department, and you're going to read it. The very first thing that you see is your attainment is acceptable in elementary and middle and high. So you already know you should have an attainment goal. But we're going to focus more so on the words. And listen here. It says the English internal and external assessments for learning show similar patterns for progress across all but one grade. So that keyword progress is something that we need to focus on because there's a difference between progress and attainment. But what we see here is that when we allude to progress across all but one grade, they're talking about the progress of middle school. So while that is a celebration from KG, elementary, and high, one of your action plan points should be middle school. So in this case, you're going to look and you would just want to copy and paste because this is going to create your terminology for your action plan. This here is the template. So if you scroll down, this is a sample that's already made, but this one is, well, it was empty, but I'm just going to go ahead and kind of show you what I put in. So it says middle school phase 3 will show progress in the assessment, which mirrors the other phases in the school, which is basically the exact same thing that I just texted. The English and internal external assessments for linguists show a similar pattern for progress across all but one grade. So I just took this originally and created this goal here, which means that my school is now focused on showing progress in assessments that say mirrors the other school. So the next piece is how are we going to do that? That's the strategy one. We're going to create pre and post exams by unit, which will focus on the standards. That's going to be able to allow us to measure individually what students are doing. So I'm going to take this small win strategy here, put it here with more details. This will measure consecutively, probably can't spell it, our growth in middle school by unit. We will be able to identify areas for improvement. I would also type in all the other things with this. The next one is tracking progress by standards. So I'm going to take this here, copy, and put it in the second piece. And then as you see here, that we must now answer with the SMART system, the resource needed, the timeline, the persons responsible, the evidences of success, finished assessments by unit, improvement in reading patterns, which probably in reading A to Z, lesson plans. And no, I'm not writing this, I'm just showing here, but you want to write down all of your information that will help create those evidence. Person responsible, your HOD, your team, your curriculum director, all of those things, timeline, when do you want to have it completed, and resources, budget, materials, time, partnerships, and so on. So that is your action plan. I'm going to go back and talk about the document a little bit more. That's one. Let's look here. It says the girls achieve better than boys, especially in middle grades. The word achieve. Is that word talking about attainment, or is it talking about progress? It's talking about attainment. So you can also see here. So we know intrinsically that we have to work on our boys' attainment in English, meaning that we need to make sure that they're achieving at the 67 percentile and above. Also looking at the positive attitudes towards learning in the subject and better oral language skills. The focus here really is the achievement for our boys. Especially you should be focused on boys and Emirati students. The collective students demonstrate good oral skills with stronger grades exhibited by a minority of students. Students' reading skills are improving. That are and improving, ing, means that it is happening, but we are not at the finish line yet, which means that we need to go back in our action plan and create something that shows that we are still building our reading skills, comprehension, and all those things. However, the very next statement has a concern. Their writing skills range from weak to very good and are acceptable overall. That tells you right there that is a major problem because they use the word weak. And when they use the word weak, that is a criterion in the KHDA inspection. The next one is students now contribute to a yearbook and display their oral skills in activities such as the Model United Nations. Importantly, their English skills have improved significantly to enable their success in the other key subjects taught in English. So those are the 3 bullet points that they walked away during our inspection of just what was noted. Development, and this development is crucial. When KHDA inspectors come in, they're looking at the development because they know that was the recommendation from their previous counterparts that the school should focus on. Therefore, it is vital that is a focus area in your action plan. The focus point is students need to write more frequently and at length for a variety of purposes. So we should have in our action plan, not should, we must have in our action plan something that deals with writing frequently and at length for a variety of purposes. This is actually a lot because it's talking about writing more, which is the abundance, making sure it's characteristically done at all times, and at length, which is timing. And want to talk about something, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Let's go back. So we're talking about at length, which is a timing and for a variety of purposes: informational text, poetry, fictional text, persuasive essays, expository. It should be a variety of those purposes. So I'm going to go back to this action plan, which is a template, but I'm going to go back to my team's folder to see an example of what our English department did. And I'm going to let you know we're going to look at this together. I have not had time to review it. That's on my to-do list for my team today, but we'll look at it together. Talking about what we just did in our action plan. The very first thing my team member wrote was improving reading comprehension by explicitly teaching reading skills K through 12. Did that touch base on one of these criterions? Yes, it's talking about student skills are improving. So we put in our action plan a way to make sure that we are focused on the work that's happening, and how increasing reading stamina, focus on closed reading of text. And then we have the strategies of what will happen in order to make that happen. And then we've broken it down here. So good job to my teammate because we focused immediately on reading. I am concerned because what do I not see as a first position? If you said the writing goals, you are right. But I'm going to look and see if it's going to be hopefully in the action plan. Long-term goal 2. Yes, we are focused on writing, providing all students writing lessons enough time to develop their writing. Very good. Provide more structured writing time in the classroom to better support students with writing. Create a writing schedule and routine, that consistency. So we hit time, consistency. Writing types should be varied. There we go, the variety. And modify appropriately for grade levels in SEND. Excellent. Writing rubrics should be assessed to formal and informal. That's a variety of writing. And the rubrics are there for the assessment. Very good. So we hit that major development goal that has been given to us by our KHDA representatives. And then it's even more into detail here. 2 times a week, our time frame, HODs, classroom teachers, students' writing stamina will improve. Students can write at length as expected for their grade level. I will say here for the evidences, I'm going to have to give feedback that I need more information. As I say, students can write at length of as expected for their grade level per the rubric. You need something in there to quantify your evidence. You always need your evidence as a tangible. A percentage. Students will improve writing stamina by 50% time based upon a pre-exam and post-exam. You do need to have a quantifiable number in your action plans. Our last one is, what are we going? I don't know. Vocabulary, which you did not see anything about vocabulary in the document that was provided, and that is because vocabulary was a major, I'm going to find it real quick, overall school improvement plan here. Where is it? Where it's reading skills, have the skills required. They did say it. I have to find it. Either it's our teaching and learning or in one of our big school ones. But we have to work on ESL strategies as a whole for a school. And our reading department decided to make it a focus. And I am elated and ecstatic by that. And that is us building what they need to do. Okay. So that's us talking a little bit regarding there we go. Provide literacy and vocabulary support for essential students who have English as an additional language. That's in our assessments overall as a school, which also falls underneath our teaching and learning. So what's happened is that our English department went and looked through the entire document to make sure that they were covering all of those areas. Thank you. Yes, this is a great action plan, just limited feedback that has to go back to my team member. Really, really good, but utilizing the KHDA inspection report to make it happen. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate this opportunity to talk through the action plan. There's a lot more curriculum that's coming up because September is a crucial time to make sure all of these things are in place. Any questions, make sure that you post below, and I appreciate it. Talk to you later.